When I started Eardrum back in 1990, I was 10, I learned a really important lesson. As a radio advertising specialist, it was really, really, really important that the radio ads we made worked. Otherwise, advertisers like you wouldn't come back and we wouldn't eat. So we had to analyse the campaigns we were making, think about how listeners listen, and figure out where radio gets its power. I'm glad to say we've done that, and we have clients that have been coming back for the last 20 years, and we are eating a little too well. Now, to understand where radio gets its power, I use a carrot. A carrot has a little bit above the ground and a whole lot below it. And that's just like the way we all think. Our conscious thought, the bit above the ground, isn't what affects our behaviour. The part that really makes us act and react the way we do is the bit below the ground, our subconscious thought. Now, because of radio's intimate relationship with its listeners, it can target our subconscious really effectively. So, I'd like to pass on a few tips to help you get the most out of your radio spend. First, a bombshell. People don't listen to radio ads. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation. No, there is more. They listen to what interests them, and sometimes that's a radio ad. Yes, people will hear your message and they'll be engaged to a degree. But with so many messages flying at us each day, we only remember the ones that stand out. You see, listeners are not thinking about your brand or your product. In fact, you're interrupting their entertainment. So the least you can do is be interesting, relevant, or entertaining. Because whether you like it or not, every ad you run is a brand ad. Whether you're promoting a sale, an event, a seasonal message, or your company website, your commercial is the shop front to your business and speaks volumes about your brand. For most SMEs, campaigns are offer-led and usually relate to specific products or events. It's vital that within these messages, enough time is allocated to building the brand and making sure it stays top of mind. Because a distinctive brand is what will ensure you get an immediate, direct response from those that are in market, but also you'll get a longer-term brand response amongst those who won't be ready to buy for a couple of months. So does it have to be creative? I mean, yeah, to some extent, a truly exceptional offer doesn't need tarting up. It can probably be advertised as a straight announcement and will probably only need to be broadcast once. But in the real world, few offers are that good. And most direct response advertisers have rivals competing for attention and market share. Plus, consumers spend time with many different media and are surrounded by advertising promotions, giveaways, and so on, all of which are competing for their time and attention. So it makes sense that advertising of any kind needs to be imaginative or different in some way in order to be noticed. So to finish this little creative snapshot, here are a few of Eardrum's golden rules. Tone of voice. Reassure your customers. Make sure your ad takes its time and sounds confident. Radio is a conversational medium. Use calm, relaxed voices that sound like real people. Your commercial reflects your brand, whether you like it or not. So don't sound desperate. Offers. Keep any special offers as simple as possible and keep the message single-minded. If you have more than one message, make more than one commercial. Vague statements produce vague responses. Good offers don't need to be oversold. Consumer benefit beats product feature every time. And, as Roy has alluded to, the emotional benefit of a product can outweigh any price point. Concentrate on why they'll love it before telling them how much it'll be. Call to action. Try to limit it to one single call to action, preferably a website. Leave room to create the desire, and the listener will find you. Stand out. Now, be interesting. If you don't grab them in the first 10 seconds, you've lost them for the next 20. Remember, people don't listen to radio ads. They listen to what interests them. Hopefully, that'll be your ad. So to finish, here's some good news. Half the job is done. Listeners are actually listening to you already. They're not fast-forwarding, they're not clicking away, and they're not turning the page. They're engaged. In fact, A study using neuro research in Australia found that people are 32% more engaged to what they hear on their favourite radio station than they are to other media. And they also concluded that if listeners are more engaged, they're more likely to respond to your advertising, as this commercial explains.
He's covered in mud, missing his front teeth and wearing his worst swimmers. But right now...
Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to remind you marketing people that thousands of people are listening to this. They're picturing what she's saying,
saggy red Superman outfit,
wondering what product she's talking about and thinking about going to the website. In fact, they're so engaged with what she's saying, 64% of them will take action.
Well, they would if you weren't talking all over me. Jeez, it's so rude. Have you finished?
Yes, well, I've had a couple of points.
It's hard enough without someone blabbering all over my lines.
Tell me about it.
Now I've lost my place. And you can shut up too.
Yeah, people listen to radio advertising. For the proof, go to commercialradio.com.au.
What's the bottom line impact of a better radio commercial? Well, Radio Gauge, which is becoming the standard measurement for radio effectiveness, reviewed over 100 different campaigns and showed that better creativity delivers up to 3 times more advertising effectiveness and can double consideration. Imagine that powerful medium you already use could be up to 3 times more effective. And that's where we come in. And hopefully we'll get to meet. Thanks.